Hi guys, so this is the last episode of my vocal register series. Last time we looked at the vocal fry, which was the lowest extension of a human voice. Today let's flip it all on its head and look at the whistle tone, which is the highest we can go. Let's go. Alright, as a little precursor, this register is one of those that you kind of have or you don't. You can either make a really high squeaky noise or you can't. It's really hard to learn, to teach and to practice if you don't already have the innate ability to just squeak really high. I can get to the register, I can do it, but I can't really do a whole lot with it. I would never put it in my actual real singing voice. I can demonstrate what one is and how it kind of half sounds. So that's okay, but like I wouldn't actually actively put it into a song because it'd be too hard to replicate. Because it's a difficult register to actually practice. So I'll get to that anyway. So without further ado, what is the whistle tone? Okay, so a whistle tone kind of sounds like this. Now there are people that can do that way higher and can do it with a much better, more healthy technique. But that's kind of what it sounds like just in its base form, a really high squeaky sound. So what are you doing to achieve this sound? Alright, so try and close your throat. If you need to take like a mid-breath, and halfway through keep the throat closed. You should have like, obviously you can't see this, but you should have like a hole in your throat that's about the size of your thumb or your fingertip. And basically what you're doing is you're pushing the air through that small hole, hence the kind of really high-pitched squeaky sound. It's hard to keep really stable unless you practice it for years and years and years and years, but don't practice it that much unless you're particularly good at it, because if you do it wrong or you do it too often, it's really damaging the vocal cords and you can cause really permanent damage. It's why most people don't bother using this coordination at all, or most people don't even try and learn it. It's really difficult to do well, safely and correctly. But if you do it, keep practice to a minimum because it's very heavily fatiguing either way, no matter how good your technique is. So that's just like a little warning for you. But that's essentially what it sounds like. It's a really high squeaky register just above like your rest of your head voice and stuff like that. Also, it's really important to note that a lot of people get this register confused with like a really high head voice. So like it's called a flageolet, like a flute voice. Sorry, flageolet, like a flute voice, or like a really super high head voice. So like a ha. People get that confused with it. The two are different techniques and different sounds, and you're achieving them in different ways. The first one, you're pushing your head voice really high, sometimes unsafely high. If you look at Christina Aguilera, she did that quite a lot. But like a Mariah Carey is in the whistle tone. It's like an octave higher or like half an octave higher, and it's a totally different technique. So try not to get those two confused. So if you see your favorite singer do something really high, you go, wow, that's a great whistle tone. It might be, but it's probably not. It's probably more likely a really high head voice. So just keep that in mind as we go through. Honestly, you're probably not going to be using this register a whole lot unless you're like Mariah Carey levels of able and confident with it, because as I say, it's so hard and so difficult to practice that you're not going to be actually proficient enough at it to use in your regular singing voice. So as I say, like, unless you're really good at it, you probably ain't going to be using it all that much. But let's just say for the sake of argument that you are really good at it and you're really proficient, you're really awesome. If we take Mr. G2 to G5 again, let's just throw those notes out the window right now. They don't matter, that's your modal voice, it's so far above that, it's untrue. Your average whistle tone's probably in the range of around F6 to an F7, depending on range, practice, agility in the register. So like a Mariah Carey, I'm pretty sure she famously hit like a G7 or something like that in one of her songs on the national anthem. Now that's high, that is ridiculously high. On my best day, I have a C7 maybe. Generally it's in the upper 6th octave because my voice just isn't that practiced in that area because it really hurts if you do it too much, and it's not very easy to do. Damash, the boy wonder I always bash on about all the time, he got to a D8 once, which for a man is absolutely ludicrous. It's not the record by a man, that's Adam Lopez, I think, unless it's been broken. He was somewhere like an E flat 6 or E flat 8, so it wasn't far away. And then Brazilian singer Georgia Brown allegedly got a G10, which is the Guinness World Record for the highest note ever, again I think, unless that's been broken without me knowing about it. Now that's more like a really squeaky kind of vibration rather than a musical note, but it still counts, it's still your whistle tone to be able to extend that high. So yeah, it's essentially the part of your voice that's used way above your head voice and way above your modal voice. It's like a total high extension party trick, and if you have it, amazing, but generally most people won't, so don't really worry about it if you can't do it, because as a melodic singing voice, it's not going to add a great deal anyway. So as I say, Whistle tone is more of a party piece than it is a usable register. If you want to practice high notes and get good, really fun, sustainable high notes, practice your head voice, or if you need to, your flageolet / super high head voice. They're way more sustainable, they sound a lot nicer and a lot easier to do. Whistle tones are cool, like you can impress people by going, and like, whoa, that's really high, and yeah, it is, but it's also quite difficult to do. So as I say, if you can't do it, don't worry about it. It's not the most important thing to actually learn or to actually practice, but it's fun to have. So if you can do it, do it. It's a good little extension to your voice. You might as well give it a go. If you can add it to songs like Mariah Carey does, then all power to you, good for you. You have one hell of a range. So yeah, that's basically all there is to say on whistle tone. I'm sorry it's a bit shorter. There's nowhere near as many uses for it and different ways of doing it. There's one way, and it's great, but it also kind of sucks at the same time, depending on your proficiency in it. So I wouldn't worry too much about whistle register. It's important to know and know what it is and how to do it and what it means, but it's not like essential. All right, so that's basically the vocal register series over. Just a recap: we went through the vocal fry, the chest voice, the mixed voice, the head voice, the whistle. Yeah, whatever. We kind of went through those 5. I hope you learned something. I hope you now know what they all mean. There are little mixes here and there, like a flageolet or a subharmonic and this, that, and the other. But those are the 5 main ones. So practice them, get really good, and hopefully you can do stuff with them. The next series I'm going to be starting is the voice type ones, to explain what I mean by all the voice type words, what they can do, like their average singing styles, and how you can identify them. But after that, we'll be doing the vocal analysis of popular singers, and that will be the more fun, more core aspect of the channel. So for now, goodbye, thank you for watching.